Hi, I'm Matt Blanchett, AndersonVision. I'm here today with two of the stars of the fantastic new little Western picture, The Outlaws, Jonathan Peacy, who played Boone Collins, and Celeste Wall, who played Henriette Parker. How are you both today?
Great.
So, what can you, for those who are just coming into this blind, what can you tell me a little bit about this picture? I've watched it, I've seen it, I adored it, but what can you tell people who haven't seen it quite yet?
Done it. He's done it.
What was that?
Guys,
I'm not sure if that's mine end or yours. I'm sorry.
mute
Yeah,
off.
John, there you are. Now we can hear you, Jonathan. The sound went out.
Guys. Okay, great. Okay,
Okay.
so yeah, I heard your question. Do you want me just to repeat it?
If you want. I really I I really was pleasantly like amazed by, well, for instance, your performance, Jonathan. I thought you did a fantastic job as Boone, especially towards the end when you were um, having to fuss around with the beans with Eric Roberts there. How did you get involved with this project? How did you, get this character, drop into your lap?
Fully, I believe in mystical. And like honestly, I found it on called one of the submission. It just jumped out at me as I read the description and I read what it was. I was like, whoever wrote this, they know what they're doing. And this seems so and boom. So I was just instantly in want this. Yeah.
Were you looking forward to you just putting a lot of of what you could do into it? I mean, I know you have a bit of a BMX background, so I wasn't sure how much you could really apply to all the action in the part, but you did a lot. I mean, you did a lot of you when you every time you're on screen, I think the viewer is looking straight at you, even when you're tied up to a big redwood. So, what was that all in the script, or was that something that you brought to it?
Man, like honestly, I think we all did this. We all, and then just became what I did. I was like, I'm gonna method act this. I'm gonna method act this. And so, and from what I saw, I did let the character live out how he wanted. And then that's it. Yeah.
One thing I am going to say is that your sound does keep dropping out for a bit. So I don't know. Again, I don't know if that's me or that's you, but I'm really you're still communicating a lot just with your body, man. So even at its patchy,
Body. Nice.
I can hear you. Can you try that one more time?
Really good.
Okay. So you obviously did say you wanted to method act the character, but I hope that didn't mean you were actually trying to go around poison people with beans. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Not.
I really love just like I know there were some really interesting angles, that the director was having, and like when you're cracking the safe, there's this big wide angle close up of you. Were you a little worried about, how that might be unflattering, or did you think it really suited the character?
look, what's this? Joey. That's one of the main reasons I went on this project is Joey.
Yeah. Celeste, so you play Henrietta Parker, and I haven't really been able to find too many credits from you before, but I was just blown away by your performance. Just you take this character that you don't initially know how it's going to go, um, and just you basically dive headfirst into this part. I mean, you basically the part that stayed with me was you leaping at a guy with a tomahawk screeching, yeah. So I have to ask, what made you think you could do this part justice to? That was incredible, wonderful, wonderful performance.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And yeah, you are correct. I have spent 10 years acting in commercials and the film world. So I didn't know I could do it, is the honest answer. I had worked together before. So I actually didn't audition for the part. Finding the right fit for this. So I read the script and instantly something came over me where I was like, this is the part I have wanted to play my entire. I, much like Jonathan, was a professional athlete for many years. Grew up in Western Canada in basically like around horse as a human being, but I didn't know search, and I just kind of, yeah, I just decided to go for it just 100%. And I love being a.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Were you a little intimidated by having to well, come to think of it, you didn't really work with Eric Roberts. I mean, you were in the same group of scenes, but I don't know if you actually interacted with them. But were you, at all intimidated by, having to sort of really like do a sort of a heavy makeover for the part, with the teeth and just everything about the character, just very not of yourself, obviously, but just
Yeah.
like for the teeth, and for example, was that just like a paint, I suppose?
Yeah, it was a paint. And I gotta say, disgusting, because I think that is such a to really play the part. And so my worry was, is it going to be a little too on the cusp? Is she not going to be gritty enough? And so when I saw myself in the mirror for the first time, I felt like, oh, good. I look absolutely disgusting. This is awesome. So no, I was very excited. And if anything, I hope in the future, now that I'm slowly making my way into film, I hope that I get to play more gritty characters like that. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's not, the sort of disgusting sort of, she's the fun sort of gritty and disturbing. I mean, the whole cast really is, the whole gang of characters is. Was there a particular moment in the film that you were really excited to play once you had the script in your hands? That you just, oh my gosh, I've got to do this part in particular.
I mean, I couldn't wait to like act somebody to death, to be honest. I couldn't wait for that part. I mean, I've done stunts in commercials for years, and so I couldn't wait to do my first stunt. I couldn't wait to do that. And then honestly, I was looking forward to my death scene with Jonathan. Like, Jonathan and I had a very cool, special, close relationship the entire film. And that was kind of like that really actually in real life was our last scene that we filmed together. So it was my last scene, but it also was our last scene. And so that was really special to me. And I was looking forward to that too. So, yeah.
As you've done, a lot of commercial work, was this the longest sort of production you'd been on, even as it was, a smaller budgeted film?
So I had done 2 other full feature indie films, both of which, unfortunately, they're still in post-production, one of which I think is going to be coming out soon. So no, I had done 2 other full days. But this was the first time I did nights. So I take sleep very seriously. I'm usually in bed at like 9:30 p.m. Okay, am I going to be able to pull on these kind of creative? Is that you're so actually get to go to these really wacky places. Actually,
I hope that you can sort of use this as kind of a calling card sort of a piece, like just like your first
yeah.
scene, not your first scene, but the first big moment you have in the film, where you basically shoot the guy who's basically monologuing, the marshal on the train. It's just like, okay, that immediately made me want to go, who is that? Who is playing Henrietta Parker? So I looked you up, and I knew you hadn't really, had a couple of things in post production, but I'm like, oh my God, who is this person? I want to see where they go with this. And it was like, so just the performance blew me away. And I just hope you're Canadian. I'm pretty sure it wasn't as cold as you might have expected, but filming in February, tied to a redwood tree in the middle of the night, I'm sure it wasn't that, it was still pretty cold, working nights, right?
It was, I mean, like every coddling or hand holding, it was very felt as real as it can, given.
I'm sorry, something sort of the
My,
it's okay. It's all, my connection kind of broke up there for a second, Celeste. Could you just repeat that? I'm sorry.
I am Canadian. I'm from a pretty cold place. I'm actually in Canada right now. It's beautiful, but
Oh, what province?
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So yeah, it's the cold wasn't a huge thing. Our hands actually did get cold like later in the night. I think a lot of us, but for me, it just helped keep me in character, to be honest. Every bit of discomfort that we had, think of a time where in that time, then that era, everything was difficult, everything was uncomfortable. And so I think those elements really helped us kind of framework of mind. We live in a time now where every
yeah, I mean, everything, we do live in a time where everything just moves at a different pace, you could say, too. So it does sort of, I do like how the film sort of sets the tone. It gives you a little bit of time to sort of settle in, and then it just starts throwing things at you, throwing this thing, that thing. Someone's stolen the gold, someone done this. But I like how it's structured almost as like a novella. It sort of gives you these pieces of the plot. It gives you the background, and then it throws the character dynamics at you, just throws them into the situation. Aside from hacking somebody to death with an axe, was there anything else that you really were looking forward to just from reading the script, or maybe disappointed you didn't get to do yourself? And Jonathan, you can answer this one as well too. What's Celeste has done?
yeah, so I was just excited to. So before we shot, I went out and learned how to shoot guns and handle guns for a long time, and I hope to do more pretty fun. But I was just looking forward to play that is the most, I call it the shadow self. And we all try times and getting to when else do you get to do that, right? When else do you get to be this absolute savage? And that's what's so fun about acting. You get to be anything you want.
Yeah.
So I was just a character that I think very few women get to play. And I'm just honored that I got the part and I got to take a crack at it. So yeah, like I said, I hope I get to do more because it was so much fun.
Yeah, I just amazing.
Slaughtered it. Yes.
Slaughtered. Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, that's the best way to frame it.
So freaking fantastic.
Jonathan, what were you most excited, we having read the script, to do?
Right there. All right. I would say very simple. Right. Just like what Celeste said. So yeah, and it
I really, yeah, the only thing I wish, I kind of wish a couple of and I don't mean to spoil any of it, but I sort of wish a couple of the people who hadn't made it. I'll leave it at that. So a couple of those characters who were absolute savages out there murdering and slaughtering, I do wish they had made it. So, but it just made me really absolutely just adore the performances, even in the short amount of time that they were in. Celeste has says she has a couple of films still in post production. Jonathan, what have you got coming up that might be in post or just coming up at all?
coming out called Long. Directed it, and it's gonna be freaking great. I'm very excited. It's so fun, you guys. Yeah. So I'm gonna be in Zoe's new film too, Delivery Run.
Oh,
Can you
nice.
hear it?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So I'm gonna be in Delivery Run. Very excited. And then I thought with Luke the song, you guys. And that was a musical magical experience. And
Oh,
so we're done and it's already done and it's already completed. And that one's called Jim and John. And that comes out, I think, sometime this year, as well as Last Shadows comes out sometime this year.
all
Um,
right.
yeah, and then I got a series coming, but I'm not allowed to talk about it. But it's about irreverent drug culture comedy.
Oh, wow. Oh, man. What's the name
It's
of that? The Irreverent
yeah,
Drug Culture one? Oh, it doesn't have a title?
okay, yeah, but it is irreverent culture comedy. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
man. I'll have to keep an eye out then. Jonathan
yeah. But
Peacy, right? Yeah, no, I mean, I'll have to look out for it. If it's
yeah,
got your name in it, I will definitely look out for it, man. You were amazing. You were amazing in this, so I'm going to be looking for you every single chance I get. And that goes for you too, Celeste. You were absolutely wonderful, wonderful in this picture. Um, Aside from what you have in post, is there anything that you hope to do, that you want to do now that you've done this gorgeous little Western, The Outlaws?
you want to go for
Both of you can go.
it? Yeah, I mean, honestly, I, I got a bucket, and there's a few. I don't always kind of like pinpoint nail down too much the future, but I have a few folks I'd like to tell you different stuff. We'll just leave it at
Yeah. And
that.
Celeste?
Yeah. This to the point where I lay and decided, you know what, I really want to invest more time and energy into. So I would be excited to play more gritty characters. I would be excited to do anything where I can do my own stunts. And I would like to hopefully do more Westerns. I mean, I can't think of more fun and funny genre to do. Like, we just had so much fun. So if I get the But yeah, hopefully you'll see me playing some more gritty, uncomfortable characters, because I don't think I knew how much fun that was going to be.
And yeah, and there are so many, great Canadian Westerns, even getting made even today, even on television, in a film.
Yeah.
So is the Western particularly what you want to focus on, or are you hoping gritty anything?
I mean, I would do gritty anything. I've done, several indie kind of more sci-fi Matrix level, and I was, a secret flawed authoritarian figures, things that are just a big departure from my personality. I'm a very laid back person and I would love to do comedy. I mean, I'm a total goofball. I would love to get involved in some improv now that I'm down in LA. So yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a huge, improv scene in Canada, no? I mean, you got the all Canadian improv games. I mean, you've got, I know a couple of big, actors who came out of improv from Canada, obviously. You got
yes, tons.
Second City, I could go on.
So
so for those who who may stumble over this picture, the Outlaws on video on demand, I think it's out already. I think it's been out for the past 5 days or so. What are you hoping? Yeah, I hope it's really doing well. What are you hoping, they get out of this most of all? And you can both say it.
Okay, cool. I just want to get out there to the world and like liven up people's hearts and impassion them, however that may be. So just to get out there and play around in the world and inspire folks,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was well put, Jonathan. I agree. I think that if we can get a couple laughs along the way and a couple, if we can get the whole kind of spectrum of emotion, then that's great. Yeah.
I absolutely it blew me away. Your performances in the film and the film itself, I wasn't sure what to expect going in. I certainly wasn't expecting those performances. I wasn't expecting them in the best possible way. So it's just, I really, really want to see more of you both whenever I can, whenever your next projects come out. If you're able to bring even a tenth of that sort of energy, or if you're able to bring 100 times that energy and that passion to the part, it's just, so if I see your name in a credit list, Celeste and Jonathan, anywhere, I will buy it and I will see it and I will rave to people about it. I'm already raving to people about the Outlaws. Sister, you did an absolutely fantastic job with this picture. So I really hope you're as proud of your work in this film as much about as much as I had as much fun watching this film. It's just so much fun.
Way, girl. My favorite is the Hatchet scene. I gotta say. It's so rad. It's so good. Your face. It's like that final shot. It's so good. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the Hatchet scene is going to be the one that sits with people, I think.
It's like, it's just, and it's the way you did it, Celeste. That's what did it. Because you could do it a lot of ways. You know what I mean? There's a lot of ways to hatchet somebody up, but it was perfect. It was so good.
It was perfect. Absolutely perfect. Yeah. So once again, I can't thank you enough for taking the time. I know you had a extraordinarily busy, day trying to get everything in. So Jonathan Peacy, who played Boone Collins, Celeste Wall, who played Henrietta Parker. The film is The Outlaw. It's on video on demand now. Absolutely fantastic Western. If you're in the mood for a Western, and if you're in the mood for something gritty and just a fun bit of scary fun and just something to really pique your interest and bring joy and love into the world with a little bit of a twist. I really, really think you ought to look it up, buy it, watch it, talk about it. Wonderful picture. Jonathan, Celeste, thank you so much. Have a wonderful
Thank
day.
you.
This is Matt Blanchett, AndersonVision. Thanks so much.
Peace. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Matt.